Tracy arrives outside the Abbott house, looks around, sighs, and heads inside. Diane appears and welcomes her home. She asks about Ashley. Tracy says she had a business stop in Chicago and won't be far behind. Diane asks, "So, what do you think?" Tracy gasps, "You have left me speechless." Diane wonders, in a good or bad way. Tracy hugs her. Tracy tells Diane it's amazing. The house feels different, yet not different at all. She can feel her parents smiling down, and Diane has made the house warmer and more welcoming. Diane admits he was stressed worrying what they all would think. Tracy gushes, "You made this happen." She admires her strength and determination and couldn't respect or admire her more. Diane asks how she's holding up after everything that happened. Tracy confesses it hasn't been easy. They sit to have tea, and Tracy apologizes for shutting her out when she was finding out about Martin. She is part of the family now. Diane has been so worried about her and offers to listen if she wants to talk. Tracy is still trying to process everything and recaps realizing she was in love with a monster. Now she's alone again. Diane is stunned to hear she still feels guilty. Tracy knew him and thought their love was real. Diane says maybe Martin really was in love with her. Tracy muses that maybe she was just another experiment or a cover for whatever he was planning. They'll never know why he did what he did. Tracy is haunted by this. She honestly thought she was the most precious thing in his life. He was a tender, gentle man. Diane hedges, "You miss him." Tracy misses being loved. She's grateful they know the truth, but was any of it real? She has to live with the not knowing. Diane's so sorry. Tracy's mind keeps asking why she didn't see through his lies. Am I really so needy? Diane tells her no. There is nothing wrong with wanting to be loved. Tracy looks forward to coming to the house and not thinking about what she and Alan, Martin, shared. That's part of why she likes the remodel. Diane says she fooled all of them and tells her not to doubt her strength or decency. She's too good of a person to deserve this. Tracy agrees, but she will bounce back, and the Martin Lawrence of the world will never get the best of me again. In the jazz lounge, Claire meets with a party planner, Pietro, who's enamored with Nikki to plan her birthday bash. He enthuses about printing Nikki's photos on shawls for the guests to wear. Claire looks alarmed and tells him that's not exactly what she had in mind. He suggests a play about her life, but Claire nixes that as well. She was thinking of a more sophisticated approach. Inspired, the planner suggests they have Nikki dripping in diamonds or a Bollywood theme. Claire was picturing something more intimate, with no elephants, themes, or gimmicks. She wants something that embodies her grandmother's warmth and elegance. She brought a few ideas. They settle on ruby red with red roses as Kyle joins them. Pietro suddenly remembers Nikki loves piano and suggests a Mozart theme. Claire shuts him down. She wants him to use his creativity to make her vision a reality. He assures her the party will be classy and elegant. Kyle thinks the party will be the talk of the town. Pietro goes off to get started after complimenting Claire on her badass tenacity. Claire tells Kyle some of his ideas were too out there. Kyle assures that she handled it perfectly. "I love seeing you in action." Claire hopes this will show her grandmother how much she loves her, and Kyle has to show her grandfather that he's the right man for her. Kyle warns the jury is still out. At Newman, Victoria admires the locket that her dad gave her mother. She notes that he loves to go big. She thinks Claire inherited that gene. Nikki looks worried and warns there may not be a party at all. If Victor has his way, she's not sure who will be left on the guest list. She updates Victoria on Michael quitting and the tense scene at breakfast. She wonders if Michael and Lauren will come to the party or if Victor will disinvite them. With the mood he's in, he'll probably be fuming at Kyle more than ever. Nikki thinks that Claire's about to learn that changing his mind is next to impossible. At the club, Nick assures Victor he'll help protect the business and family, but he'll need more information. They recap Michael betraying Victor. Nick tells him he can't fault the guy for putting his marriage first. Victor thinks the Abbotts had something to do with it. Nick asks if he really thinks Jack is an active threat. Jack appears and wants the answer to that as well. Exactly what threat does Victor think he and his family pose? Victor accuses Jack of skulking around. Jack says that's for actual spies. What possible threat could he be? You need some new material, Victor. With that, the mustache gets up and leaves. Jack asks Nick if his father's disposition has to do with Baldwin's resignation. Nick thanks him for not rubbing it in his face. Jack sits, "Talk to me. What is going on?" Nick says his dad is gearing up for some threat against the company. He was trying to get more information, but Jack chased him off. Jack realizes he's wondering if his father actually has something to worry about. Nick doesn't think his father's concerns have to do with the Abbotts. He's sorry he's trying to reignite this war between their families, but he thinks Victor is more concerned about Aristotle Dumas. Jack says he reached out to Billy, and he doesn't like it one bit. He wants his brother to steer clear. Nick says they both know Billy doesn't like to play it safe. He recommends they don't associate with Dumas if they want to keep things from escalating. Nick can't even understand why Victor sees him as a threat. Dad eats guys like Dumas for breakfast. Jack says Billy made it clear that Dumas is looking into Chancellor. That would put a target on Nicky's back. Nick says he'd have to go through the whole Newman family. Jack would work to protect her as well. Nick thinks his old man would have something to say about that. Jack doesn't give a damn what Victor thinks. Victor runs into Victoria at the Newman offices, and she asks about Michael. Victor snorts that it's not the first time and ends the conversation. They have to talk about Aristotle Dumas, who is circling the company and aiming for Chancellor Industries. Their priority right now is to protect her mother. Victoria asks what he'll do about it. Victor will shove that guy down before he gets anywhere near Chancellor. Victoria will help. She pivots to Claire and the birthday party. Victor's glad she's concentrating on something other than Kyle Abbott. Victoria warns that he needs to back off Kyle. Everyone knows this isn't about protecting Claire, but his feelings toward Jack Abbott. Victor's glad she decided not to move in with him and is sure he'll soon be gone. Victoria won't let him do to Claire what he did to her. Victor should have done more to the men in her life. Maybe she wouldn't have been divorced so many times. Victoria warns again, if he does anything to break up Claire and Kyle, she'll never forgive him. He tells his daughter to have a nice day as she storms out. Nikki turns up in the office next and asks her husband what he and Victoria argued about. She guesses, Kyle and Claire. Victor says these arguments are useless. He knows Kyle will bring nothing but misery to their granddaughter. Nikki protests that Claire is happy and in love. Talk turns to Michael. Nikki understands him having a stiff upper lip, but he must be hurting. Victor doesn't want her worrying and plans to distract her. Victor promised Nikki a gift a day until her birthday and hands one over. It's a music box that plays one of the first piano pieces she ever played for him. Victor found someone to refurbish the box and put that music inside. She loves it and loves him. They kiss and think of the memories. He tells her he loves to make her happy. Nikki says, in that case, I have a request. The best gift he could give her is honesty. She knows he's concerned about the threat Dumas poses to Chancellor and is upset about Michael. She's worried that without him, he might wage a battle against the Abbotts. She wants a promise that he won't attack them until after her party. Victor sighs. I promise you that, Oak, she says. Oak. In the jazz lounge, Kyle tells Claire that Harrison is struggling with what to get Nikki for her birthday. Since Summer isn't here, he wants Claire's help. She'd love to. Jack arrives at home and enthusiastically embraces Tracy, who explains Ashley will be along soon. She gushes over the house and thinks their sister will love it. Jack teases that he's thinking about asking Diane to redo Jabot. Diane's still recovering from this, she laughs. Jack checks in with Tracy, who admits she isn't better yet. She recalls how she spent time in New York going over and over what happened. Ashley was there and could comfort her as no one else could. She found solace in her work. She's decided to turn her ordeal into a novel. It's cathartic. Jack finds this brave. Diane says it's brilliant. Just then, Kyle comes in with Harrison, who runs over to embrace Tracy. She laughs. This was exactly what she needed. They discuss the kid needing a good idea for Nikki's birthday. He wants it to be epic. Kyle and Harrison head to the kitchen, and Tracy goes upstairs. Diane tells Jack she thinks his sister will be Oak. Jack says once Ashley is back, his world will be complete. In the club dining room, Nick leaves Phyllis a voicemail asking if she's still chasing Dumas and asking whether she got a sit-down with him yet or not. I'm dying to know. Call me. After he hangs up, Sharon texts asking him about having dinner as friends. He responds, "How about tonight?" Hello everyone. Welcome back to my channel, Pulse Canvas. It's me, Julie here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching. So let's dive into today's video. The Young and the Restless spoilers for the week of June 2 to 6 reveal that Audra Charles will go too far while Sharon Newman tackles a crisis. Victor Newman will also target Aristotle Dumas, so here's what I and our viewers can expect. Nikki Newman's party will come with some curveballs, especially for Kyle Abbott and Claire Newman. Despite Claire's optimism when it comes to winning Victor's approval, things won't go according to plan. Victor may fly into a rage following Kyle's attempt at a grand gesture. No matter what Kyle does, it's doubtful it'll be enough to prompt Victor's genuine change of heart. There's a good chance Kyle and Claire will get into a serious argument after her big idea flops. Kyle may stomp off and ultimately give Audra the opportunity she needs to pull him closer. However, Audra could go too far in her quest to destroy Claire and Kyle's romance. If Audra lets herself surrender to temptation just as much as Kyle, they could betray both their partners. Audra could land in hot water with Nate Hastings once all this plays out. Likewise, Kyle could devastate Claire if he crosses the line with Audra and bursts the blissful bubble Claire was trying to create with him. In the meantime, Victor will presumably want to fight back following a strange message from Dumas. Once Dumas sends out a cryptic announcement to the people of GC, Victor may view whatever he says as a threat. Victor will prepare to target Dumas, though his priority may be figuring out exactly who this mystery man is first. Of course, there could be a twist if Adam Newman and Chelsea Lawson end up being behind this Dumas message instead. Since Chelsea and Adam decided to create a scandal, it's possible this will be a fake Dumas announcement, one that's meant to take the heat off Billy Abbott. Over with Sharon, she may have another crisis to tackle. Maria Copeland's secret and marriage are set to blow up soon, so Sharon may prepare to pick up the pieces. Daniel Romalotti Jr. will continue to be there for Tessa Porter, but he'll also make time to catch up with Christine Blair and Danny Romalotti once they pay him a visit in the coming episodes. The Young and the Restless spoilers say the week of June 2 to 6 will bring some thrills and spills, so stick with us for updates on all the wild news and heated moments. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Thursday, May 29, reveal that Ashley Abbott will have a shocker for Jack Abbott while Amanda Sinclair gets backed into a difficult corner. For starters, Jack will welcome Ashley home following her time away with Tracy Abbott. Ashley had to stop for a business meeting in Chicago, so that's the reason why her own return was a little more delayed than Tracy's. Could that business meeting have something to do with a move Victor Newman is plotting against Abbott? Since Ashley will have some stunning info for Jack, she might have news related to the latest feud with Victor. Despite Victor's promise to wait until after Nikki Newman's birthday party to go after the Abbotts, he may already have a bold strategy underway. Whatever the case, Ashley will fill Jack in on something shocking and perhaps give him a reason to worry. Next, Amanda will find herself stuck in a tight spot. My and our spoilers say Amanda will face a difficult choice, so this may tie in with Phyllis Summers' attempt to pitch her Chancellor plan to Aristotle Dumas. Dumas might get updates on what's happening and warn Amanda that there's no way Phyllis is getting through the door. Phyllis is awfully determined, but Dumas has made it crystal clear that he doesn't want in-person meetings with her or anyone else. Dumas might task Amanda with making Phyllis back off and put her in the tough position of raining on Phyllis Parade again. Of course, Amanda and Phyllis' joint DC flight may not even happen if Dumas has other plans in mind for his attorney. Dumas might push Amanda to extend her stay and help him out with a message since one's supposed to rock Genoa City before the week's over. Amanda's tight spot may be more about Dumas' escalating demands and how far she's willing to go for her boss. Although Phyllis will open up to Daniel Romalotti Jr. and most likely convey her excitement, she may not get her wish when it comes to all her Dumas-related goals. Nevertheless, the young and the restless spoilers say Phyllis will keep working hard to nail down a path forward, so stay tuned. Michael Baldwin wreaked havoc on his and Victor's emotions by calling it quits, and in the aftermath, his former boss' worst instincts will go unchecked, or will they? Someone is set to step in to fill the void left by Michael, but can anyone fill the crafty attorney's considerably large loafers? As news traveled through the Newman family that Michael had thrown in the towel thanks to Victor reigniting his decades-old feud with Jack Abbott, the immediate reaction was care and concern that the mustache would be feeling hurt, followed by a jolt of realization that the Black Knight would now be unleashed to do his worst. Victor was already targeting Jack for having the audacity to save Nikki's life, but with the anger over Michael's defection fueling the fire, the Abbot is likely to indirectly get the blame for that as well. In what might be the understatement of the year given the scorched earth nature of Victor's revenge schemes, Nikki pointed out that things could get ugly. In a bizarre scene, Nikki asked Victor for a temporary ceasefire until after her birthday party, and her husband agreed. Why she didn't ask him to back off for good is anyone's guess. In any case, it's only a matter of time before Jack and Jabot are going to find themselves back in Victor's crosshairs, and those in the inner circle know this all too well. Perhaps that's why Nick volunteered himself to step in and fill the void left by Michael. Now, Victor's son is no lawyer, but he's an experienced business executive and, more importantly, has first-hand experience of just how out-of-pocket his father's revenge plots against Jack can become. After all, his daughter, Summer, nearly died when Victor enlisted crazy Patty Williams in one of his schemes. But is Nick up to the task of being the new Michael? Nick has already began running interference between Victor and Jack, as well as initiating a fishing expedition to get more information on another perceived threat. Who else? Aristotle Dumas. But given Nick's nature and his lack of shady connections, can he really be as effective as Michael at heading off his father's worst instincts and working to protect him from himself? Our feeling is that Nick will not only prove to be less calculating and cunning, but he'll also face a similar hurdle to Michael. Nick is reconnecting with Sharon, who is bound to advise him against getting involved in his dad's dirty work if she gets so much as a whiff of what he's signed himself up for. Let's not forget, it was Lauren who pushed Michael to extricate himself from the tight spot between his boss and his friends, which ultimately led to his resignation. If our hunch is correct, as the situation with Victor gets increasingly out of hand, Michael will realize Nick's in over his head, and will prove unable to resist the temptation of stepping back into the fray, which is exactly why Michael's marriage will soon hit the rocks. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Wednesday, May 28, suggests some interesting moments in Genoa City. Someone gets another birthday surprise, while a super couple puts their plan in motion, and a family welcomes back two sisters. What's set to unfold on Wednesday's show? Time to find out. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Wednesday, May 28, imply that Victor Newman will pull out all the stops this year as he gives Nikki Newman yet another birthday gift. He already presented her with a beautiful got locket that had a photo of her, Claire Newman, and Victoria Newman inside it. So what does he give her on Wednesday? And will he outdo himself once again? Fans will have to tune in to find out. Across town, Claire and Kyle Abbott will put their plan in motion. During the Monday, May 26 episode, Audra Charles proposed a publicity war between her new company and Jebot. It looks like Kyle is going to take the bait and agree to this. But what does he and Claire have planned for the brunette in retaliation? It sounds like they'll organize a counter scheme to Audra's, so it'll be interesting to see what happens next between these three. Lastly, the Young and the Restless spoilers for Wednesday state that the Abbott sisters will return to Genoa City, and fans will see Tracy Abbott back on the canvas during the May 28 episode. It looks like Tracy will offer her input on the Abbott mansion renovations. So will she be blown away by what Diane Abbott has done? Or will she offer not-so-nice feedback on the change in her family's home? Only time will tell. What storyline are you most interested in seeing unfold during Wednesday's show? Share your thoughts. Will Ashley and Jack survive it? Tracy came back to the Young and the Restless on May 28, and she assured her brother that she was dealing with her Martin-caused trauma by writing all about it in her new novel. Tracy admitted it was hard, since she was sharing such personal details, but she assured her family it would be worth it. Jack predicted another Tracy Abbott bestseller. But will he be equally as enthused once Tracy's book blows up his world? Tracy thinks she's writing fiction, but everybody knows all fiction has to come at least partially from the writer's own experiences. Especially since Tracy has already said this book will be based on her drama with Martin. But in order for Tracy to create a fictional character who would fall prey to such a scheme, she has to ask herself, what made this woman so desperate for love that she'd be willing to accept it from anyone? Even a man who was unhinged and criminal? How could she not see the warning signs? Is it because she didn't want to? And when Tracy goes digging there, what might she turn up? Tracy, as the youngest Abbott, lost her mother at the earliest age. Sure, John tried to step up, but he had his hands full with Jack, his only son and heir, who spent his teens and 20s being the player about town. Jack left John a lot of messes to clean up. Meanwhile, there was Tracy's older sister, Ashley. She was brilliant, a chemist at the family company. She was popular and self-assured and gorgeous. John called Ashley my beauty, and he called Tracy, Tracy. That's going to leave scars. What if, in writing her fiction, Tracy ends up accidentally exposing Abbott family secrets? She can insist she made it all up. But the reading public will have their suspicions. So will her siblings. Will this book that's supposed to promote healing end up tearing Tracy and her family apart? Ashley has something to say, and she needs Jack to listen. For the Thursday, May 29 episode of The Young and the Restless, spoilers photos showed Jack and Diane plotting their next move, Ashley making a huge announcement, and Harrison getting a day out at the park. The Abbott family drama heats up once again, especially at Jebot. Jack and Diane take to the office to get down to business. More specifically, to safeguard the company against the Newman attacks. They'll plot, they'll scheme, but will it be enough to combat the great Victor Newman? The mustache always has tricks up his sleeves, and Jack and Diane need to stay at least 3 steps ahead if they want to win this war. Later, Jack spends some time with his sister. Teasers show Ashley has some pretty big news to share, and it may not be something Jack wants to hear. What is she about to tell him, and will it rock Jack's entire world? Ashley can be a wild card, so anything is possible. Meanwhile, Kyle and Claire pack up Harrison for a day out and about at Chancellor Park. It's one of the boys' favorite spots, and he's happy to be with his dad and former nanny. But what has him covering his ears? Is Kyle going to say something his son doesn't want to hear? It was a fresh start in the refurbished family home. The Young and the Restless recap for Wednesday, May 28 saw Tracy coming home, Claire party planning, and Victor making a scene. The Abbott mansion had a warm glow today, literally and emotionally, as Tracy returned home to a refresh that wasn't just cosmetic. Diane was proud to show off the updates and hoped they would impress her sister-in-law. Tracy, still fragile after her devastating fallout with Martin, found the new atmosphere comforting. She could feel the heart of the home beating stronger than ever. While she praised Diane's efforts, Tracy couldn't help but open up about her lingering heartbreak. Diane gently reminded her that needing love doesn't make her weak. The conversation was heartfelt, with Tracy admitting she still missed the way Alan once made her feel. But now, she was focused on writing through her pain by turning the chaos into a novel. Jack and Diane finished welcoming Tracy with open arms. Harrison made an adorable appearance, and Tracy quietly disappeared upstairs to settle in. Over at the Jazz Lounge, Claire was on a mission to throw Nikki a birthday party fit for a queen. Something classy, intimate, and unforgettable. With Pietro's help and Kyle's support, Claire was determined to make a statement, not just to Nikki, but also to Victor. She hoped the night would show her grandfather that Kyle was the right man for her. Kyle tried to stay optimistic, though he knew winning Victor over was no easy feat. Still, Claire was all in, even helping Harrison pick out the perfect gift for his honorary grandmother. Meanwhile, Newman Enterprises was brimming with tension. Nikki confided in Victoria, worried that Victor might ban Michael and Lauren from attending her party. With Michael's abrupt resignation and Victor's finger-pointing at the Abbotts, the atmosphere was thick with suspicion, and she was right to worry. Later, Jack confronted Victor at the GCAC. The temperature rose further. Victor brushed off the confrontation, but Nick picked up on his father's growing paranoia. Dumas's name continued to circulate, and it seemed Nikki might be at the center of a brewing storm. Afterwards at the club, Victor pivoted from rage to romance by surprising Nikki with a refurbished music box that played one of her early compositions. It was sweet, until their conversation swung back to Dumas, Kyle, and Claire. Victoria pushed back hard against her father's interference, warning him not to sabotage Claire's happiness. Victor, unbothered, clung to his conviction that Kyle would only break Claire's heart. Back at the Abbott mansion, Jack and Diane welcomed Tracy with open arms. Harrison made an adorable appearance, and Tracy quietly disappeared upstairs to settle in, perhaps finally on her path to healing. One thing's certain, between broken hearts, big birthdays, and budding tensions, Genoa City is on the edge of a storm. Which super couple is the fan favorite? Amanda's latest visit to Genoa City is for business, but she might get caught up in a whirlwind romance. Amanda is back on The Young and the Restless. The hotshot attorney is in Genoa City to conduct business for her client Aristotle Dumas. While it's a work-related trip, things could take a romantic turn for Miss Sinclair. Amanda hasn't dated anyone since her heartbreaking split with Devon. After walking in on him and Abby making love, Amanda dumped her cheating boyfriend, then left town. Since then, Amanda's made several returns to Genoa City. Every time she comes back, she's usually in Devon and Abby's orbit. Amanda's latest visit is work-related and involved a meeting with Winters about Dumas' intentions. With Dumas arriving soon, that means Amanda will be sticking around a while. Although she'll be busy with work, Amanda might have time for romance. There are a few eligible men who'd be perfect for the lawyer. Holden is someone who'll be attracted to Amanda. Although Holden's been getting flirty with his ex Audra and Claire, Amanda could lure him away. Damien is another candidate for Amanda's heart. He's been working his charm on Lily, but Amanda's partnership with his boss will have him looking in her direction. Amanda stealing Damien from Lily will surely ignite a new Y and R feud. Another potential love interest is Abby's ex-husband Chance. He and Amanda were heartbroken over Abby and Divon's affair. Most of the time, The exes enter a rebound romance after their partner's infidelity. Since Amanda left town, Y and R never got an opportunity to pursue an Amanda and Chance romance. With Chance single and Amanda back in town, this is the perfect time to pair the two.